the Xbox full screen experience. So, I am currently in the very early stages of testing this out, and let me know what you guys think about this in the comments, but I think this is a very huge leap into the future of how gaming will be presented on our monitors. So, a high-end, high-fidelity, balanced gameplay experience that really reminds us of a console experience, but it's also like console gaming without restrictions. That is essentially a PC. But let's not call it PC gaming, because PC gaming will put a bad taste in console gamers' mouth, and I understand why. I felt the same before I got a PC, and I really got into the ecosystem of PCs. So let's just call it a gaming console without any restrictions. I think the future of gaming is really bright, and from my point of view anyways, I don't see how PlayStation 7 in 8 years' time from now will be able to compete with the type of experiences that you can have on an Xbox Magnus when that eventually releases in 2027. Guys, this is the super early stages of the Xbox Magnus ecosystem. So the new next generation Xbox will be a gaming PC. Now, before we even start to play around with the UI, I need to say that this is the extremely early alpha build test that is now going out for the Windows Insider program, essentially beta testing program, for testing out new Windows 11 features and Windows 12 and whatnot, you know, Windows related stuff just in general for PC users. And it's essentially just the Xbox Rogue Ally X handheld UI or whatever, at least in this case, that makes your PC into a gaming console like Xbox. So now, what I think this is the early version of the Xbox Magnus UI and kind of system UI kind of thing. And it's hard to put into words how huge I think this is. Right now, this is a super early thing, and it's buggy, it's glitchy, it has 0 sound effects in the menu, 0 boot up screen, and when you put it into sleep and you go back into the console, it really works kind of weird. You have to pick up your keyboard and mouse, you can't just use the controller. You can't even wake up the PC from sleep mode with the controller. And I'm using the official Xbox dongle, or 2.4 gigahertz adapter, and I've connected it with this, so everything is like fully official support, everything. It's not like I'm using a PS5 controller and it still doesn't work. So stuff like that will definitely be ironed out in the future. It does work like that for the handhelds. It doesn't seem to work yet for the Windows version. However, here's the thing, guys. I'm using a super early version of this. This is not the final release that has come out to the public. So keep in mind, whilst they might look good on video, my PC has been running with this program in the background now for 2 to 3 hours. So if there was a kind of a quirky start, it's no longer that glitchy because it has been on and caching everything in the background. It's slow, it's laggy, it glitches out. There, as I said, isn't any cool tactile feedback, audio feedback in the app. So I can turn on the audio here in my surround sound system, up the volume a little bit, and see, there aren't any sounds whatsoever. Nothing. Not even in this new mode, the tab mode. So we have 0 Xbox type sounds, 0 Xbox type experience vibes. The only really thing that gives this the Xbox experience type feel is that when you press the Xbox button, you get to this menu. You have the clock up here, which definitely resembles the one that is on console. But that's kind of where the ends meet. There isn't too much more than that. I'm gonna be playing around with Discord and see if that can kind of work like how it does on Xbox, but I don't think it's gonna be able to do that just yet. So, something that is pretty cool is, this didn't work before, but it does now. I am playing a game on Steam whilst in the big picture mode. or sorry, the Xbox experience. And it does actually say that I'm playing Batman Arkham Asylum, which is correct. It is not supported on the Xbox app at all. So that it's even coming up for my Xbox friends, that is pretty cool. It's pretty neat. So we are getting some functionality here. If I go and I try to type to beef jerky right here, and I press send a message, this is also a problem. So what is this whole shit? Why is it so tiny? It's because I'm using this handheld operating system type subgenre of software that is very early in 4K, and obviously the handhelds don't do 4K yet, like they do 800p or 900p. So yeah, this is a little bit like, obviously it's early. I would like to be able to change the UI scale and make it larger. That functionality isn't even added yet, so it will have to be this small. I will type to my friend, I am now. It's hard to write when I'm this close to the screen. I feel like I have trauma in my head. I am now on Xbox. And how do I access emojis? I can even send GIFs, that's kind of cool. I can't really navigate to them though, so that's kind of a jank. Okay, we're not gonna be able to do that. Guess we want to be kind towards Swissbliss here. Let's put there we go. How do I send this? Okay, so I press that button, okay. Yeah, so there we go, that's simple. Now I send the message. I'm not used to typing with a controller like that, so I was obviously a little bit slow. It felt super tactile and fast though. I just would want maybe haptic vibration features for the system, sound effects, maybe even some background music. That would be really nice, like some super quiet, ambience, lo-fi-esque, calm music maybe. That would be kind of cool. Like how the Xbox original had that in the background. This could have a very, very, very faint lo-fi Xbox themed music in the background. That would be kind of nice actually, making it a little bit cozy. That said, let's start to use this thing, because if this is the new experience, and if my PC is currently an alpha test Xbox Magnus, but just not with the same hardware, obviously it's way better hardware than what the Magnus will have, or more powerful anyways. This is still an Xbox right now. Not in the final public stages, of course, but in a very early type of way, my PC is now turned into an Xbox. And it really has. Because if I hold this button, the Xbox button, here is Windows. And it's not even loaded right now. Like, we are only in an Xbox ecosystem type thing right now. So this is very close to how it is on console. It's just the UI itself isn't really that close yet. This is in a very early stage. And it's supposed to be good, I guess, right now. I don't really think it is that good. I think this looks very ugly. I like that it says jump back in, even though I haven't been using any of these apps for a long time, especially not through the Xbox app. So it's kind of weird how they lay this out. I will give it credit where credit is due though. If you go to the Game Pass menu, this looks super hyper clean. You saw how the cache memory didn't really pick up that we were here before, so it still had to load that in, which is horrible. But this looks really good. I really like the grade cyan off tint and then going down here. Super clean, very much a console-like look. However, the sound effects, the background music, the tactile vibrations when I move would have been a nice touch here. But that's a nitpicky thing. They most likely will add that because Xbox already has that. So why won't the PC version have it, you know? My library. So here's where my games are. We have the Steam games here, the EA app, the Battle.net games, everything is combined here. Even the Xbox games, but I don't have any of those installed right now, so I can't showcase that, sadly. But yeah, I tried to use this app with a PS5 remote, and it actually worked right off the bat. But after I turned on this for the first time, the Xbox just overwrote it killed the PS5 controller essentially. The signal just died, and I can't make the PS5 controller work anymore. Yes, I can, but not for this menu. It can work for the game still, that's not a problem. But when it comes to the Xbox full screen experience, it stopped working. So if you want to use a PS5 controller, it might work for you until you start to use this one. Then it just stops working. I think this looks really bad in my opinion. It looks poor, especially when it comes to the pixelated pixels, like the pictures, man. I don't even know how to put it in words. This doesn't look good. Maybe a little bit charming, but not good. I would want to see like a banner of the game or something, and maybe a different size scale or something, but this looks just... God damn, Microsoft, don't pick the logo exe file, the executable thingy logo. I don't even know what it's called in English, that's what I'm saying, it's so long-winded. Put it in the comments if you know what this type of image is called, like the thing that you have on your Windows desktop, essentially, the shortcut logo, PNG thing. I think it looks horrible. Some of these look fine. This looks really high-end actually, like really good. The World of Warcraft, this looks like 4K. It's aligning the pixels very nice as well, so, but who knows? Yeah, but these other ones look horrible. And if you go here, my apps. These are my Xbox games. I don't have any of those installed. We go to the cloud gaming. Go to the store. It's a little bit slow, it glitched out there for a sec. I'm obviously kind of stress testing it at this point. Go to the friend tab. Notifications. Profile, view profile. It's kind of slow loading in, but it kind of works. Okay, so let's try to boot up a game that is not related at all to Xbox. It's a Steam specific game. This would be kind of how I would react in the future, but it would be way more seamless. So now when I boot up a game, it won't let me, it just does this, and then I have to press launching again. And then this comes up, then I have to press yes. I think all of these types of things will be ironed out and not be a problem anymore. Here is the first problem. This happens only on very, very old games, so it's not really a problem per se, but it could be, depending on what type of gamer you are. How do I access this and press play? Well, obviously I can't. There isn't a mouse movement type feature built into the Xbox controller. So, maybe the best thing right now would be move over to where I actually sit in game, where I have my mouse that is wireless next to me, so I can just click play. Not everyone will have that experience though, most will just want to be using a controller. I'm sorry to say though, that's not going to be possible. At least not yet. We're not really there yet. I can use this menu in the background. I can see the frame rate, the VRAM consumption. Very clean little menu, even though we are getting insane VRR flicker in the background. It is indeed saying that we're playing the Steam game Batman Arkham Asylum for all of my Xbox friends, which is very cool, very neat. We have the compact mode. If we disable that, it breaks everything and it starts to act super weird. Let's see if I can even access the... There we go. And we're back. Oof. You know, that's how it felt almost. We can go into sleep mode. I'm not gonna do that though, because if I go into sleep mode, the PC is gonna become weird, glitchy, laggy, slow. Boot into sleep mode, it's gonna come back when I touch the keyboard. It's not gonna work to wake it with the controller, which is horrible. They need to fix that. I'm not gonna preview it. It doesn't really work that well, and it will just throw you off and make you think it's worse than it actually really is, because it's early, super early. So yeah, I'm gonna use this game as an example here. We're just gonna load up. Obviously my mouse cursor is up there in the corner. I haven't used the mouse, I don't know why that's showing off, so that's also a bug. The latency for the 2.4 GHz dongle is really impressive. It's definitely way lower latency than using the PS5 remote, but we're talking about such a low level of latency already with the Bluetooth 5.3 bands that it's yeah, it really doesn't matter. It's cool playing a game like this at 4K Ultra, locking the FPS to 120, like if it was like a console. Obviously I can unlock it if I wanted to. I do think it's kind of cool though. And I am in a VRR scenario. I can see on my LG OLED it's running VRR here very clearly. I can also use the green button 7 times, smash it, and you should get this menu. You can see some of my specs there. So yeah, it's definitely a cool experience. I like it. Personally though, and this is a personal note, don't get me wrong, I love Xbox. It's just that super cheap feeling because of the echo inside of the chassis of the controller. It's very loud. I'm gonna show you how loud the PS5 controller is in comparison. Obviously it's not loud at all, I just need to showcase it. So, PS5 controller, that's me being as loud as I can be. You know, and then it's very loud, smacky sounds. Like it sounds bad, but hey, I do think the Xbox controller looks cooler. But yeah, it's loud as fucking hell, man. Really loud. You know, it's an Xbox One S controller. Probably the newer Xbox Series X controller is way more silent and way more dampened, but I can test that because I don't have that. So like having an older Xbox One controller like this, yes, I said it's not the Xbox One controller, it's the Xbox One S, so it's slightly newer, but you get the idea. It's not really perfect. Doesn't even have the rechargeable battery built in. You can't plug it in to load it up and like charge it. You know, you have to change the batteries. Other than that, it's like something that they could fix. If they can make the chassis quieter, not this loud, because if I'm just playing normally, I'm not gonna be smacking that much. But the right stick, yeah, it's gonna be always loud. The looking around, the like walking around stick, it's never really going to be smacking around because you're doing smooth motions, right? But the look around stick, the right stick, it's always needing to kind of be smacked depending on your sensitivity. Not a lot of people want to use super high sensitivity to mitigate this, so they will get that smacky stick down, or it's really very loud. In my opinion, I think it's really cheap feeling. I don't like it at all. The feeling of the sticks and the buttons feel good. Definitely tactile enough to be a premium level where I think it's okay, especially for the very affordable price that they are sold at. However, yeah, this feels silky smooth, like it's almost pre-lubed, like a pre-lubed gaming keyboard. Whilst this, yeah, it feels like those very cheap mechanical blue switches that you can get on like Temu and Amazon, like, if you know what I mean, like really loud blue switches, mechanical switches. That's not my cup of tea. It used to be when I was younger though. Yeah, so let's not think about this too much. Let's ignore that whole tangent. Let's go back to the home tab here. And as I said, we get back here, and I don't really think this looks the best. I would like some background music, some sound effects when I move around, vibration in the controller, you know, tactile stuff. When I turn on my PC, I would love if there was an Xbox boot animation, and then I'm back into the game. Or maybe I'm just going into this home screen, and maybe the home screen can look more like this. And I could wake up the PC from sleep mode with the controller. What more? Some kind of fix for when the game needs me to use a mouse. I can use like a keybind, hold RB and like drag around the stick or something like that, and then I can use a kind of fake mouse via the right stick. That'll be kind of cool, and then press B to go out from that mode. Maybe something like that, I don't know. Steam controller already has that set and fixed because they are using like twin modules inside of the controller, essentially being a controller and a mouse at the same time with the trackpads built in. I won't be showing that off in the video. But yeah, I do think this is a very cohesive and nice experience. I feel that it's not polished enough yet, and obviously it's not gonna be, it's in alpha mode. This is like version 0.10, so it's like super early stuff. This is not even 1.0 yet. If there's something is like, yeah, this is updating at like 24 FPS or something, it looks really weird. And the dramatic, like, you know, it's like, it looks snappy, but in a bad way. It looks laggy. It could look more smoothed. I would like that, like a smooth panning camera motion when you're going around. Maybe that would feel worse. Who knows? But I'm just saying, like, my own thoughts loud right now. Let's try to boot up another game whilst we have Batman on in the background. Batman is right here. Windows experience, Xbox experience, and also Xbox, Microsoft, please don't call this Xbox full screen experience when this fully releases to PC in the public release. Call it Xbox Gaming or just Xbox, because you don't want to make the PC feel like you're a PC gamer with the Xbox fake mode. That doesn't feel nice. I want this to feel like an Xbox, not like an Xbox skin, if that makes sense. So let's put up another game whilst we already have a game installed, or like on in the background, sorry. Let's see what happens. Also, I don't want to see this menu. If I press this, I just wanted to turn on the game. This is also looking very cheap. It didn't bring me back to the home menu. It remained me there, that's really bad. I essentially just want this to be more like the Xbox Series X operating system type look. That's what I would like. And I would be happy that way, honestly. Do we have... Oh! Nah, there's no way. Does quick resume work, or is it just the app being weird? Let me just use the GPU and CPU a little bit here, and we'll try to go back to Arkham Asylum. Steam shouldn't be allowing you to play 2 games at once. It should be turning off the game. So it's either a bug or it's actually working. Oh my god, I'm sitting way too close. This is running super smooth. We can check the frame rate. Oh yeah, maybe I should. Fuck. I can't pause the game and then check the frame rate. That was stupid. There we go. Yeah, it's running really great. I would say it's probably getting like 2 or 3 FPS more on average in this certain scenario. But hey, I'm locked out at like 120 FPS, which is great. I've locked the frame rate personally to that. Just makes the experience a little bit more cohesive. Let's talk about that in another video. That's not why you guys are here. So now, we're not gonna turn off the game, but I'm gonna pause it. And I'm gonna hold the Xbox button. What is going on? Is it turning on Batman in the background, or am I just like... What is going on here? We have some VRR flicker, so something is going on. Okay, so Dying Light the Beast is still on. Wait a minute. This is acting really weird. It's a super early look at how the Xbox Magnus ecosystem will look. However, it most likely won't even look like this. This is probably like a super early, really poor skin, basic skin that they made. And this is like the extreme early stages. In 2 years time from now, we'll have the Xbox Magnus in our hands, and it won't look like this. It won't sound like this, it won't act like this, it will be very cohesive. And hopefully, it will be good enough to make people say, damn, I love the Steam machine, but look at this Xbox, man. And I don't see how PlayStation and Nintendo can compete if the whole market for the next 8 years that is coming up the Xbox and Steam machine is gonna be there and everyone's gonna be hyping up those things. What happens when everyone is hyping up one thing and then 10% of people on the globe are like, I like this thing? It's gonna become niche to like a Nintendo and a PlayStation. I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. But in like 8 years time from now, I could see the PlayStation 7 maybe not being as hyped up anymore because people have become so accustomed to a PC console at that time. But right now, yeah, it's early stages. Like this, why this is exciting is not because it's good yet. No, it isn't. It's exciting because this is like the early stages of PCs becoming gaming consoles and gaming consoles becoming PCs. We're merging the envelopes now, and it's exciting as fuck, man. I'm waiting. I'm holding my hands together, hoping that this goes well for Microsoft and Xbox. Please, man, listen to some of the stuff that people are saying. Add sound effects, vibration, tactile feedback, background music, splash screen when you're booting up the PC, make it more cohesive and faster. Make it feel like you're starting up a gaming console. Don't make it feel like you're starting up a PC. If you can handle that, I'm all in. That would be really cool. There is gonna be people say, just buy a gaming console if you really want that experience. I don't really want that experience. I want the super high-end PC experience with maxed out graphics, 120 FPS locked. But I still want the couch feeling, you know, sitting in a recliner or a couch with my remote, whichever one I want to pick, doesn't matter. I want to have that console experience without restrictions. And I think that's what the Xbox Magnus is going to be. So what happens when the Xbox Magnus is a console without restrictions, with really high fidelity and high performance, whilst the PS6 is only a gaming console? It's not that the PlayStation 6 is going to be bad or anything, but I do think the PlayStation 6 is going to look less exciting, just because it's like way less than what the Xbox can be. I think the Xbox has the possibility to do emulation really well, which could be you can play PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, maybe PlayStation 3 even at that point with emulation. We are coming close to that now. Becoming better and better for every year that goes by, which is exciting. And we're talking about 2 years in the future, maybe even 3. And we also have PS4 emulator coming out now, which is really good. So imagine being able to play PS1, 2, 3, and 4 games on your Xbox Magnus, and you would be able to play all Nintendo console games except for Nintendo Switch 2. Those haven't become emulation layered yet, hopefully in the future. So you could play all Nintendo and PlayStation games except for PS5 exclusives that aren't on PC yet, but you always have Steam on your Xbox Magnus. I'm excited, guys. We'll have to see where this whole thing goes. Am I able to move around now? No, it's still messed up. Yeah, so super early stages. We'll see how this thing goes. It's super weird. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this whole thing. Am I on crack? Am I stupid for saying these ideas? Or am I maybe onto something? Is this going to be like the early stage of Xbox Magnus, or is this just a cheap basic software type thing, a skin essentially that Microsoft made to mimic a console? I don't think so. I think this is just super early, and they just threw something together to combat the SteamOS type big picture mode that you have on the Steam Deck, because Valve is coming into the market. Valve isn't really going to be a competitor, direct competitor to Xbox and PlayStation, but they want to be in on the market and slowly get their feet wet a little bit, right? So we'll have to see what happens, but I see this as a big step for gaming, even though it's a very small step at first. It is initially a very large step, and people are not going to like it at first, but this is going to become the way you play in the future. And I'm very, 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 very keen on that. Like, I'm 90% sure that this is the future. It's going to be a rocky start probably. And we'll have to see how that goes. It's going to be fun to see everyone talking shit about it and loving it at the same time. I'm here for it, man. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.